Hello, and welcome to the PossAbilities Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie. Very nice to see you again. It's been a while. Today is something a little bit different from what we have done in the past. Today, we're going to do a Shared Lives round table with my guests, Jemma and Alison. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm not bad. How are you? Are you okay?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, good. So, start with the question that I usually kick every podcast off with. So, could you just briefly explain to the listeners who you are and the role that you have within PossAbilities?
Hi, yes, I'm Alison. I'm team leader of the Shared Lives scheme.
Hi, I'm Jemma and I'm a placement officer on the Rochdale scheme.
Brilliant stuff. So we're here today to talk about Shared Lives in detail. So can you just give us a brief overview of what Shared Lives is?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So Shared Lives, it's a great model. The best way of describing Shared Lives is a bit like fostering, but for adults with a learning disability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what sort of impact do you think the Shared Lives scheme has with the people that use the service?
Oh, I think it's an absolutely positive impact. Completely.
It's a very person-centred scheme. The individuals at the heart of everything, being part of the family within the Shared Lives arrangement.
Yeah.
The carers involve them in
Everything. Anything and everything.
Anything that the family do, the individuals do, they are involved. And needless to say, if the individual does have family, the carer will also support the individual to
see them, phone
to
them,
to keep contact with the family. Even though they do live in that arrangement.
Yeah, it's a completely unique way of care,
of
really.
Support.
But it's such a positive model. It really is.
Very person-centred.
And you think it's down to it being very person-centred and it, you mentioned before the fact that some of the people that use the Shared Lives carer service have other family on top of that. So you also think it's important how you Shared Lives family try and encourage the contact of the other family on top of that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone's unique, and that's the thing about Shared Lives is that it tailors to everyone because it's such a unique model.
It does, yeah.
Whether people have, family, whether they don't. It's such a unique model that it's just completely tailored to an individual.
To that individual, yes.
Yeah, completely.
So moving on, this is sort of like a personal question, especially considering that both of you work within Shared Lives, but it's one that's quite important. So what does Shared Lives mean to you?
Again, a very unique scheme, very person-centred, ensuring that the individuals we place with carers, that the match is there.
Yeah. It's all about making a difference. We really do.
Absolutely make a difference.
You go home at the end of the day and you do feel like you've made a difference to somebody's life, basically.
Yeah,
it is.
But is it important? Is it really important that you get that perfect sort of match between the service user and
we try our best.
Yeah, definitely.
We try our best. Not all placements work, but we do. We'll work with the individuals and the carers to ensure that the match.
Of course, and it's like living with any member of family.
Yeah.
You're going to have your ups and downs, aren't you? I know that I do, and I'm sure everyone else does.
Yeah.
So it's all about, it's all about those positive relationships, but also recognising that, it's not always going to be perfect. But you're going to go with it and you're going to, make it all right in the end.
Absolutely.
Every single road has its way of going forwards and backwards, doesn't it?
It does, completely.
And it's in a way, it's your job to make sure that sort of runs as smoothly as possible. So, do people have to be part of PossAbilities to be involved in Shared Lives?
No, not at all. No. Not at all. People can be a Shared Lives carer and still work for PossAbilities, but they don't have to work for PossAbilities to be a Shared Lives carer.
How do people get involved? What's the process behind becoming a Shared Lives carer?
Contact.
Yeah.
Contact us.
We always want carers. The process is you can phone the main switchboard. We have our own email address on our web page,
which I'm sure will be up right now.
I'm sure. Like I say, we always want carers of any age. Everybody's got different personalities, different things to bring to the table,
and you don't necessarily have to have any care experience either.
Not at all.
You know, we can put you in for something called a care certificate, and we go through the process of that with you. As long as you've got that empty bedroom and a space in your heart.
Absolutely.
That's what I always say. You know, that's kind of the people that we need. People who care.
So, Charlie, have you got a spare room you'd like to be a Shared Lives carer?
I'll see what I can do. Right, that's great. So, from top to bottom, how can you become a Shared Lives carer?
Do you want to start, Jemma, or me?
Yeah, of course. So, obviously, at first, you're going to give us either a phone call, an email, just get hold of us, pigeon carrier, up to you. And then we will send you out our application pack. So that includes your application form, all various documents to give you a bit more information about us.
And we'll chase it up if you haven't sent it back within a few weeks.
Yeah. We won't hound you, though, don't worry. But we'll make sure that you're still, still keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when the application form comes back, it's quite a smooth process from both parts. We'll come out, we'll come and visit. We'll ensure that, your house is suitable and you've got a spare room. That's the most important, the spare room. And then we go through the you're self-employed.
Just go through all of our various documents, but most of it is, Shared Lives guidance. So Shared Lives is the, umbrella model which supports us in all of this, and they have all of their guidance, and that's what we pass on to you as the applicant.
Yeah.
After that, we then do something called the carer assessment, which is just basically how you would meet the needs of how you can meet the needs of somebody.
We have 24 skills and knowledge statements that we have to show that you meet. So like Jemma said before, even though you've never been in care before, we can use life experience, bringing up children, or jobs, past jobs. It doesn't have to be in care. Yeah. We do ask for all our carers to complete the care certificate, and then training throughout, DBS checks. Mm-hmm. We go to a panel. It's not just us that makes the decision. We have social workers on the panel. We have
members of the public as well.
We have expert by experience people on the panel. We have professionals on the panel. So the placement officers come out, they come and meet, they complete all the paperwork, they do the paperwork for the panel, and then they present that carer to the panel.
Yeah, and the carer can join as well if they want to at that panel.
The carer can, It's not very often. We tend to give them a quick phone call after the panel's gone ahead. Yeah. And just to make people aware, I know when I mentioned fostering, it doesn't take as long as fostering. I know fostering can take many, many years.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Months rather, not years.
Sometimes.
It can take up to 2 years. But we don't. We as soon as we see an opening, we can get cracking on that.
It's important to note as well. During COVID, we've found ways of doing it. We're using Zoom. We're using Microsoft Teams, phone calls, pictures, you name it, we can kind of work around whatever.
It's not stopped us, has it?
No, not at all.
I think we've done more.
We've done more
panels, panel meetings than we've done with pre-COVID, really, haven't we?
Yeah,
Even
definitely.
though we like to, we'll do a panel with a couple of carers now. We used to wait for quite a few, but we've sort of like got a bit sleeker with that, haven't we?
Yeah, we are very sleek with it.
We have. So obviously people are self-employed. We can't pick people out of the air that want a placement. So you'll wait. We'll then get referral in.
Yeah.
Then we're doing the matching process.
And like we said before, it's all about that match.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. So basically, that's in a nutshell. Although it doesn't stop there. You then, when somebody's placed with you, you have a placement officer allocated to you, which is your go-to person.
Yeah.
The contact then could, we come out monitoring every 10 to 12 weeks, or on the other end of the phone.
Literally. Always
Any
on the other end of the
problems?
phone. Yeah. We also have the on-call as well. So if there is anything that happens outside of work hours, we have the on-call, which our Shared Lives carers can access. So that's really positive as well in that there's always going to be support. And
just to note that carers can work alongside being a Shared Lives carer. Yeah. They don't have to be, sat at home all day, and they can work as long as what the individual we place in that arrangement fits around everybody. That again, it's about the matching skills. So if somebody worked late at night and that individual couldn't be on their own, that wouldn't be a good match. Yeah. So when we say we match people, we do have to look at every angle.
Yeah. I think it's a total ongoing process, isn't it?
It is.
It's always an ongoing process, but I don't want people to think that it's a mega process with all these things, because it's not, and you've got so much support from so many different avenues.
You have
when you do become a Shared Lives carer.
Yeah. So it's really easy to access support as a Shared Lives carer once everything gets moving, and it sounds like you all work like a very well-oiled machine, even
we try our best,
even through the current circumstances.
Absolutely,
yeah,
yes. I mean, we've kept contact with all our carers during the COVID, haven't we?
Doorstep visits, window visits.
Yeah, we've managed to carry on monitoring the placements so that nobody's been isolated.
Zoom forums, everything like that.
While keeping your distance.
Exactly, keeping safe. That's what it's about.
Yes. So we've kept on with the carers meetings, which they're on 4 times a year. Then that's to keep in touch with the carers from a management point of view, from Claire, our manager, who runs them. So they've carried on. Mm-hmm. Just everything's carried on.
Everything, yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's been a process, hasn't it? To try,
It has.
I don't think anyone expected this, and we certainly didn't. And, it's how we get around those, barriers, just like everything else in life, getting around them barriers and making it work.
We've done it as a team. We managed to march on through the COVID.
We have. And we're hopefully nearly out of it.
Nearly out
of it, so yeah.
Well, what a fantastic way to wrap up the podcast. Thank you to Alison and Jemma for joining me today. If you want some more information about Shared Lives, you can find it in the description box below or on the screen now, depending on where you're listening to the podcast. And thank you for listening to the podcast today, and I'll see you in the next episode. See you later, everybody.
Bye.